Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see for the title and thumbnail, we're going to be doing something that I've been wanting to do for a while. As you guys know, I've complained about the stock Burbles on the G80 platform, the G8X platform, and I think I found one of the best solutions you can do without tuning your car. As you guys know, this channel is not really about being the fastest G80, so for me to send my DME to Femto and to kind of go through the whole process, it's not for me. And probably a lot of you guys too watching this, it's not for you too. So one of the big issues I had was the Burbles. I hate the way the Burbles sound. So in this video, we're gonna be showing you guys a solution I believe will be one of the best solutions you could do without tuning your car and getting rid of the Burbles. So let's get to it. Alright, so DAHler is a Swiss company that specializes in exhaust, right? And look, there's many different exhaust companies for the G8X platform, and I believe that every company has a solution to fit your needs. The team over at DAHler, I was actually able to meet the owner of DAHler at the Invasion Orlando in February. I was actually able to meet with him again at Keys Auto Show. And at Keys Auto Show, we talked about the valve controller. And I had a great solution where I know a lot of people like myself hate the way the Burbles sound, like I mentioned. So what we're gonna be doing is adding the valve controller, and towards the later on in the video, I'm gonna give you my explanation of why you could turn off the Burbles and to enjoy the exhaust tones. This video is not gonna be too long, and I'm gonna try to make it as smooth as possible so you guys are able to get something out of it, right? Be able to learn how to do it. It's something that's simple, and if I'm doing it by myself, then it's definitely simple. There's a lot of videos that other users like Brian from Keys Motorsports, James from What's Your Forte, they've all done this modification on their G80, and they have great DIYs about this. So this one's just more for you guys to understand, and hopefully you guys could figure this out a little bit easier. All right, so I'm gonna take you a little further in. So your valve controller is gonna be connected to your stock valves. And this unit that you see on the overlapping B-roll is gonna be able to change these valves from a 60 to 70% valves open to more of a true 100%. And this is simple. You basically press on top and you pull the plug out. And the valve control is going to be the bridge to make that full 100%. And which is why that's something that, I don't know why BMW didn't allow the stock valves to open 100%. It's probably due to sound regulations throughout the whole manufacturing world and stuff. But something like this is going to be able to allow you to enjoy the exhaust fully. It's very simple to get that done, even on this side too. Unplug and you're good to go. All right, so off camera, while sticking the Velcro on there, if you guys have a lot of dust, as you can see, my hands are pretty dusty, it may have a trouble with sticking on. You could use more adhesive, but I think over time the heat and everything is gonna make it slip off. And this is just me over planning. And so what I'm doing is I'm using a whole bunch of zip ties. And I'm gonna use 2 different zip ties, and I'm gonna show you where the hole is. We don't have to drill any holes. And what this is, it's cross bracing it, and it's gonna give it some stability. As you can see right over here, it's basically zip ties 2 ways across, 2 ways over, and I have 1 zip tie that's gonna basically use as a anchoring tool. I'm gonna have another one too, just to have a little bit more stability, because I don't wanna drive and hear this stuff rattling. And this is just me being overcautious. Again, this is something that you can do. Zip ties. I end up having a whole bunch of zip ties from Amazon. These are 18 inches zip ties. So I'm doing one across this way, and I'm gonna do another cross over. And again, this is just me over planning, because I don't want anything rattling. I don't want anything, because once I install it, I don't want to have to go underneath the car again to redo it again. So you could do it this way, you could do it the adhesive, and again, the adhesive is a good way to do it, but I'm always thinking of the possibilities of it having issues, right? Where the heat and everything's gonna melt the adhesive, and then when you're accelerating, you hear this thing rolling around. Once I draw it through, it's gonna be drawn to a point, I'll show you right over here. So what I did was I pushed this portion out, and this plastic housing is able to flex. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push it in there, flex it, and I'm gonna stick all the zip ties that are mounting this valve control unit through these holes here. Hopefully you can see that. Flexing that, and then I'm gonna grab the zip ties out. I know you just saw all that sand pop out, and that was right on my face. Oh, my hand definitely got all cut up. Just cut the zip ties, and you should be good to go. There's two sets of wires, one's each to each valve. If you guys didn't know, there's two valve controllers, right? One on each side of the exhaust. I put the box over here. As you can see, it's mounted in this area here with zip ties, and you saw what I did earlier where I made a harness. So this way that when it's heated up, the adhesive does not fall off, and also any sharp turns or anything like that won't really destroy it. What I did was ran the wires through the heat shield. I took a couple of these bolts out to get a little bit more leverage. I'm gonna put these bolts back, and then ran the wire out over here, and it kind of mounted where the plugs are up on top, and I used a zip tie to secure the wires that are loose on top. So this way that the wires don't hang down, touch the hot exhaust, or come down to the ground and eventually destroy itself. And then I ran the other wires, which you can see on Keys Motorsports YouTube channel. I ran the other wires to the other valve control through the middle heat shield of the exhaust through the other side. Let's go to the other side. So the wires ran through the middle of the heat shield, and it comes out right over here. And I did the same thing. I used a zip tie to kind of secure from this point on, so the wires are not dangling off. So one of the coolest things that you heard was the valve controller. And the valve controller allows you to open and close the valves to your wanted taste, right? You could have your M2 mode and also have your valves open, right? And have it the most obnoxious as you want. But you could also have the Burbles off like I mentioned earlier. You can do that by using the valves. You can hear that audible distinction of the valves opening and closing. So we're gonna get onto the road. get some sound clips of how this sounds and give you a better understanding of it. All right, so I'm gonna try my best, one-handed a little bit, but you're gonna hear this. Valves are fully open, M2. Yeah, we're gonna do a couple gear pulls. We're not gonna do anything crazy, but it's pretty loud. And if you guys don't have neighbors, this is definitely something where you wanna open the valves all the time. It's definitely a little bit harder to show you in a manual, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a second gear pull and you can kind of hear it. It sounds amazing. It's so hard. So this is how you get rid of the burbles. You open the valves fully with the DAHler valve controller, and then you leave it in comfort. There's no burbles at all in this setting. So I know a lot of you guys complain about the burbles. I don't like the burbles. And this is a good setting for you to do if you're not into, I guess, the juvenile burbles and stuff. This is a good tone where you could hear the exhaust without the pops and bangs. Personally, I've been liking M1 with the valves open. It's a couple burbles here and there, couple pops, but nothing too obnoxious. So check this one out from inside the cabin. It sounds a little bit more mature. I know with M1 mode before the valves fully open, it wasn't loud enough. I wasn't hearing the exhaust and I felt like it was underpowered, but now it sounds good. And then if you really want to be obnoxious, M2. This is when it's really loud. I know I was driving earlier and the pops and bangs were obnoxiously loud. If you guys like that, that's fine. Me personally, I don't like that, and I wish I was able to get some more content. I know one of these days I'm probably gonna have to do just exhaust content again with this whole setup, but I definitely want to get this video out so a lot of you guys can hear it. Here's a better representation of how it sounds inside the car, and hopefully these raindrops are not kind of deterring it. So valves fully open in comfort mode. And also active sound is disabled. What I can describe that setting right there is that it's a deep tone. It's a deep tone, whatever exhaust setup you have, it allows you to be able to enjoy the full exhaust tones, especially when you're driving. You know, when you let go of the gas, you start hearing those pops and bangs. In comfort mode, you don't have that. But if you guys don't want it pops and bangs, leave it in this mode and have the valves open. So recently I've been liking M1 mode with the valves open. There's some burbles, not enough to really be obnoxious, and it also doesn't sound too bad. I kind of like this whole setup. All right, we had to come back inside because it's downpouring rain out there, and I need to get this video out to you guys. But stay tuned, I have a couple more vlogs coming up. You're gonna see, you probably seen the new wheels, right? You probably seen that video first, but I have a lot of videos to edit because we have the invasion of Los Angeles coming up in next month in August. Well, I'm gonna be there in August, but I'll see you guys in September. But let's talk about the valve controller. This is one of the best bets you can do to get rid of the burbles, to get rid of the obnoxious pops and bangs if you guys are not into that and you wanna hear your exhaust fully. I know from the title and thumbnail, you clicked on it because you wanna get rid of those burbles, or you want your exhaust to be louder. This is one of the best solutions you can do on making sure that you enjoy your driving experience. So the team at DAHler definitely took some time to really understand what the customer's needs. And also we all understand that BMW on certain things are very conservative, right? If you watch many different other videos, they tell you that the stock valves, when you open into M1, M2, it opens about 60 to 70%. So there is that leeway where you have more volume to be able to be heard, right? And this valve control allows you to do that. I know I mentioned earlier, one of the best solutions for you to enjoy the exhaust tones, whatever setup you have, is to be able to put it in comfort mode and open the valves. I do that often. I like the way it sounds. I'm not gonna lie, there is some times where I like it in M1 and I hear a little bit subtle burbles. And to be honest, I think that's a really good combination where I leave on M1 and I have the valves open. There are some times where I just don't want to hear the exhaust. I just leave it in comfort and I close the valve with the push of a button. You could definitely hear it, how accurate it is when you just push that button, it closes up. I definitely want to thank the team over at DAHler for sending this over. If you guys have any questions about this whole entire setup or my exhaust setup, let me know down in the comments. And if you want to pick up this kit for your car, whether it's F8X or G8X, go to Keys Motorsports and you can pick it up from there. They are the US distributor for any DAHler products. Again, I can't wait to meet a lot of you guys out in California where we could kind of really just talk about cars and also enjoy the BMW community. But other than that, if you guys find this video helpful or entertaining in any way, hit the thumbs up. It definitely helps my channel grow. And I'm very excited to what's to come, right? And I appreciate all the support. So other than that, let's jump back into some other vlogs later on, and I'll see you guys on the next video.